be a camel owner or simply an adoring camel fan, you're in the right place for some fun, useful and interesting camel talk. This is the Camel Connection podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Tara.
And I'm Russell. Join us here for fun learning about camels, how to care for, train and handle them, plus insider stories and interviews.
And also some interesting stories of our lifestyle with camels, the good, the bad, the ugly and the very funny.
Make sure you've subscribed now so you don't miss out on an episode.
Now, some of these podcasts are an audio take of our video, so be sure to check those out on our blog for lots of how-to visuals and, of course, lots of camels.
This is your one and only go-to podcast, all about camels.
Welcome back to the Camel Connection podcast. I'm your host today. I'm Tara. Russell won't be with us today, but I have a very interesting topic for you today. But before we get into it, I just want to ask you, have you been enjoying our podcast? If so, can you leave us a review on our iTunes podcast channel, Camel Connection? So, or obviously, if you're already listening on the iTunes podcast, then just go ahead and leave a review. If you're listening on other things like SoundCloud or whatever other channel, leave a review where you can, because we are going to start giving stuff away for those who leave us some great reviews. 5 stars, really good. Hint, hint. But if you leave a review, and we read it out on a future episode, we'll send you something camel related to you in the mail. So go ahead and leave a review now or after this podcast or during it. Either way, it'll be great to hear from you, and hopefully we can send you some camel goodies in the mail. Okay, so let's get into today's topic. We're going to be discussing how to choose a camel trainer, and we're going to share 5 tips with you on how you can choose the right camel trainer for you and your camel. So I remember how much it sucked in school when you couldn't choose your teachers to learn from. One year you could be thanking your lucky stars, and the next you want to quit school. Truth be it, we don't learn that well when we don't resonate with our teachers. There has to be a personality match somewhere, and also similar values to life. This is what shapes us as human beings, and this is also what shapes camels and their behaviors, believe it or not. It's hard to really find someone you resonate with to be your camel trainer and or your mentor to assist you in learning to train your camel, because camel trainers can be numbered and are a very limited breed. It's easy to simply get information from anyone you can if they've been involved in camels in any which way, even if it's just the slightest bit of contact. But just like raising children, you want to make sure that it is a good start for you as the parent and the child being a camel. To find a mentor that you can relate to is like, sitting on a gold mine, really. We all learn best when we find that connection and resonance with our teachers or mentors. No one learns properly from anyone, or, no one learns properly from someone who they can't relate to or don't relate to. Sometimes this can mean similar stories, to your life story, or similar characteristics. Maybe you have an admiration for somebody in the camel world, or sometimes just an all roads lead to this path type of situation. Like, basically I'm talking about a gut instinct. It just feels right. When a camel enters your life, it's very soon after you realize that they are not like any other animal you've had besides the obvious things. Their nature and instincts are different to any other animal. you realize you need help and you need help ASAP. So Dr. Google to the rescue and in goes the camel trainer search. You might find something you're looking for, or you might be certain that any camel trainer is a good camel trainer for you and your camel, which is an easy thing to do since they are few and far between. But keep hanging on, because these 5 tips we're going to share with you are going to reveal that that's actually not the case. So being camel trainers ourselves, we are not a retail store. So we don't serve everybody that walks through the doors, so to speak, calls us, emails us or whatever. We don't help train everybody. We've turned people down before and told them that we can't help them because it was clear that they did not have the camel's best interest at heart. We believe that camels are not just an animal. They, like us, have a spirit to nurture and to connect with. And as Russell often says, they're just like us, just in a different costume. And the other thing I want to add to this too is, given that we work with animals and we don't want mistreatment to take place, it goes without saying that if we don't stand for something, then we're not standing for anything. So that's a really important point, which now leads us to our 5 tips on how to choose a camel trainer or a mentor for yourself. So tip number 1 is make sure that the camel trainer's actions meet their words. Research the trainer, get feedback from others who have experienced this trainer. Just like any industry, there are camel trainers willing to compete to gain clients. This can result in cheaper rates to get more clientele. So you need to look for authenticity and consistency in their wording and actions. This is a good way to judge, when you're looking for a camel trainer. So also, I need to add to that, social media doesn't tell all about somebody. It kind of scares me a little bit about social media. I'm not going to go on a rant about it, but that people just think they know people because they're on social media. And I know it's a platform where we get to know, like, and trust people, but you need to do more digging, more research than that. Look for, if they're on social media and they have a website as well, look for consistency in their on their social media profiles and also their website profile, website information. So don't rush it and take your time. Tip number 2 is call or email the potential trainer or get in touch with them and interview them as you would for choosing a school for your own human child. So, you've got to think about what sort of trainer you want. Do you want to be mentored? Or would you prefer someone else to train your camel? Do you want to do the hard work, or do you just want somebody else to do that for you? So as you've probably gathered, we're massive advocates on you getting trained, the camel owner and handler, because to us this makes complete sense. But not everyone wants to do the hard work and get their hands dirty. You need to be clear on how involved you want to be in your camel's training and handling, how much you want to understand them, and to what lengths you'll go to get there. Tip number 3 is use your gut instincts. They never lie. I learned this from a mentor of mine when trying to decide on hiring somebody within our company, and they said that if it's not a hell yes, then it's a hell no. People are nice and willing to give you what you're looking for if you'll pay, but having a camel trainer or having a camel trainer / mentor is like hiring good staff. You call on them often, so you not only need to like them, but imagine yourself having a drink with them at a bar and eating French fries. You've got to be comfortable with both those situations, working with them and just hanging out, because I'm telling you now, that is the best way to hire anybody that you need to help that needs your, anybody that needs to help you or that you are seeking help from. So tip number 4 is ask or research on their website what their core values are as trainers and compare it to other trainers that you come across. So do a bit of cross-checking. So you've got to look and ask, do they care enough to have great and detailed information on their website that answers all your questions about their camel training style? If it's not clear on their training style, because everybody has a different style, then you'll be just winging it and hoping for the best. Every camel trainer and mentor have their own method and unique style of training and handling camels. If their website doesn't say it, then call them and ask. Way too often, new camel owners ask the first camel trainer that appears on Google or, in them in physical life, thinking that there is only one way to train a camel. That is actually one of the biggest mistakes that people make, is that there's actually only one way to train a camel. And that's not true. There's not one way to train a camel, and you need to find out your way that you're comfortable with and that's doable for you when you're not under instruction. So this is something, if you're not comfortable in a setting while your camel trainer's there and you're like, I don't think I can do this at home, then you gotta think, maybe this style isn't for me, because it's maybe internally it doesn't meet with your values or whatever. So tip number 5, speak to them over the phone, get an idea of who they are and what they offer. It may or may not be a personality match. So going back on point number 3, it's so important you like your camel trainer or camel mentor, because your camel will pick up on it too. They're kind of like dogs in that way. Get the camel trainer to explain how they train camels in their own words and how they would address challenging behaviors in a camel if they're not willing to answer or think. If they think that you're interrogating them, then they are a no-go. So, or if you can see that they are not, like their words that they're speaking to you aren't matching what they're saying on their website, again, not a no. You want consistency. You want to find, because anyone who knows, any camel trainer that knows their core values, what they stand for, how they train camels, will not be afraid to share it. They'll be willing to talk to you for hours about it. Okay, that's what you're looking for. That cool, calm, collected kindness, as well as they really know their style and how that's implemented, and it matches with their words and actions either on social media or on their website. So again, it's so important to follow your gut instincts. If it doesn't feel right, just keep searching. So that is our 5 tips of how to choose a camel trainer. So also, I'll add in here a little bit about us and our camel training style, if you're wondering. If you're interested in learning how to train camels, how we train you to train your camels, you can find more information about our Camel Connection trust-based camel training, which is a registered trademark. And people have been trying to copy words. So that's why I put it is a registered trademark, because people have been using it for their own marketing, thinking that ours is working. So you can find this over at our website at australiancamels.com/camel-training. That's where you can find us. Or just go to australiancamels.com and follow the Camel Academy box right on the homepage, and you'll find us there. We offer in-person training as well as our online trust-based camel training course. So that means that anybody in the world can actually have instant access to our camel training style and method, which is really exciting because we can't get to all four corners of the globe as much as we'd love to. But our in-person training we do mostly here in Australia, but we travel to the United States as well and offer it over there through clinics and mentoring and private tuition. So that's us in a nutshell. You can go to australiancamels.com to find out more and follow the Camel Academy box on the homepage. And you can find out more about our camel training style if you are already starting to research camel trainers. Start on us. Why not? I hope we come across just as transparent as we do here on the podcast. So that is our episode for today, number 12 episode. We're getting up there in the numbers, which is really exciting. Thanks for listening again. And don't forget, if you loved this podcast or this episode, leave a review and we will read it out in a future episode and we'll send something camel related to you in the post. Are you a new camel learner or are you considering owning camels? Look no further for an alternative, gentle camel training method. Forget all the heavy-handed and dominance-based camel training styles. We'll show you another way. Get camel confident with your camel handling and training skills. Get our free camel training videos and ebook over at AustralianCamels.com.